Before I begin the presentation, the first thing that many people ask me is the name Tandan. Are you in any way related to Ravina Tandan? Is she supporting your mission, or is there any sort of connection there? So the first thing is no. Ravina Tandan is a Bollywood actress. Our word Tandan comes from the very local Manipuri word, which means firefly. So we are an organization based in Manipur. We started 4 years ago, and the name kind of stemmed from the interaction with our communities before we even register the organization. So most of our communities, almost all of our communities, are either rural or tribal. So they live in very remote places, away from electricity, away from network. And towards evening, the whole area comes alive with fireflies. Now you really can't read the newspaper in it, but that's very inspiring. It's something which they connect to. So we named it Tandan after the local language. The problem that we are working with, and the biggest issue that we see over here, is in education, in the complete breakdown of the lack of education. Quality education is another story. Sometimes it's a complete systemic breakdown of education. My first interaction with the Northeast was I had come back from the US. I was living over there, came back for a month for a music volunteership. I've done my studies in music and I came for a volunteership. But then I realized there's a stark difference in what we see in the cities and what we have on ground reality over here. And before music and before art and drama comes into the picture, we saw that I personally saw that there's a complete breakdown of the education system. And when I've got children who I was interacting with who are in class 8, 9, and 10, and they can't read two sentences. So the statistics will say it's 61% and 60%, but the numbers are pretty much higher. Infrastructure, of course, is a different story, but the real breakdown of education. And without education, really, that for us became the root of all other problems, of all other issues. Just explain this quickly. On the left is a boy. He was in his fourth standard. On the left, the tall boy over there. His mom brought him to one of our construction sites. We were building a school for a couple of communities, and she said, "Take him and give him 100 rupees a day, but employ him over there." We said no, and there's no school in those areas. So we said no. We are building the school for children like him, for him. On the right side is another 20-year-old boy on top. Again, 16, I think, no education at all. Don't know how to read, write, even sign their names. On the bottom side is some of the habits that they get into when they don't get that education. Going ahead, the solution that we have seen, that we have tried and tested on ground, is you get the community, you have one. So we don't try to do anything great and fancy. The first thing is we get into the community, we work with the community, and then we have the programmatic intervention which comes later on. But the first thing is we get the community, we get the tribal chiefs. It's a very monarchical structure here. So the moment you get that, you have one. Right from the very beginning, we tell everybody that we are not Santa Claus. We don't come bearing free gifts to all and sundry. We're going to partner with you. The measure in which you partner with us, measure in which you, your children, your grandchildren are going to get that benefit. And that has worked. Where we have really been able to make the impact is with the community. These are 9 tribal chiefs from different communities who came together under education, under the banner of education, invited us, gave us 13 acres of land and said, kind of do something for us. In all these situations, in all these communities, no proper school. And we told the community, we're going to partner with you for your kids. They came out, they built the school, they built the classrooms. So that sense of ownership came into them. This is the completed school. And I'll come to the programmatic part in a while. We started in one center with 20 kids last year. We are currently in 7 communities over 5 districts, around 800 children. And on the left side, if you see the picture, these are the type of classrooms, these are the type of community schools that we kind of work with. There's no private school. Sometimes, in most of the cases, even the government doesn't reach there due to the terrain, due to a whole lot of issues. So the community, somebody from the community will come together, they'll put up a structure, and that's how we start. And that's where we kind of get into. On the right is where we begin our meetings with the community. Again, we don't just focus on rote learning. We focus on music. We focus on a whole lot of their own. We don't try to bring something from outside. We bring that change from within. So on the left side is the tribal fishing practices, which we have brought that into the curricula. We have the children who grow their own vegetables. So they kind of get that connection to the land. There's no real brain drain, or there's no that drain doesn't happen. They feel connected. So the children are doing their own classrooms on the left, planting their own vegetables on the right. This is a community school which kind of invited us. It's not a private, it's just which the village put up. And we saw the dire need to intervene in education, but we do that through the community. We got the community to contribute to the hostel. And we brought down the fees, the sustainability, by around 80 to 85% in that single year. We were just the catalysts. We got them to contribute. I mentioned we started with 20 students. We are right now at 800. One of the centers, and he's kind of said, I was done in my entire district. I'll give the district to you. You've got around 220 schools, come and implement it. But we can't do that. We kind of have to take things slowly. Um, as far as the costs go, every rupee is important. Every rupee counts. So for us to keep a child in school is 400. You can choose to support one child. That's 4,800. It could be 50 children. It could be 100 children, 2,40,000, 4,80,000. This is an important slide. These are the people who lead the program. Now, these are your education leaders. They are not just any run-of-the-mill teachers. They've got to deal in the worst and the most harshest conditions. And this is what really comes in handy, because to keep quality people in these places, in these difficult terrains, we do need that support for that. So you can see a classroom, you've got rain inside, the teachers have got to take over. And the support fees also contribute to the teachers. Okay, I know the time is up. I'll just take maybe 30 seconds more. The support fees contribute to the teachers, because the fees support the teachers. I have a turnover of teachers. When the teachers don't get their salaries, in one of our centers, there was a 90% turnover. So the teachers don't get paid their salaries, they leave. After we entered, we brought down community contribution and things like that. We had a complete 100% turnover, 90 to 100% turnover, where the teachers stayed. So these are our educators. Our team, we are 11 team members right now, 99% local. 6 of us hold master's degrees, 5 of us hold bachelor's degrees. And these are our community. Thank you.